of the summary videos on various concepts. The first video is about my official YouTube channel AV. So what we offer is a full length video lecture. So the total length of the duration is for about 500 hours for class 11th and 12th combined. Then we offer worksheets. Worksheets are categorized level wise, and they are categorized into three levels: level 1, level 2 and level 3. And if you want to go beyond that, there are other higher levels also, but the first three levels are sufficient for average scoring in physics in JEE and NEET. Next thing what we offer is NCERT line to line questions. So this is to comprehend the entire subject and have a grasp of the fundamental facts, fundamental concepts, fundamental terms related to physics of class 11th and 12th. Then we have PYQs, NEET and JEE, both PYQs, so that you can analyze what type of questions are being asked in JEE and NEET. What is the pattern to decode them out, and how to develop yourself for fetching the correct answers. And at the last, we have the testing mechanism so that your progress can be analyzed. So let's see further videos. Then next we have a sample video on video lecture card for linear equation examples, graphs, various analysis questions based on them. This is the next one. Then we have another worksheet on linear equations that I was just discussing. So very basic level questions, very simple questions. Then graphical based questions, then slope, y-intercept and x-intercept based questions. Then we have another worksheet on the quadratic equation. So very simple question, level 1 exercise, quadratic equation, condition for quadratic ABC finding, then sum of root, product of roots, basic level questions on them, then finding discriminant, analysis of the graphs, sum of roots, product of roots. So basic level questions on quadratic equation. Then we have another analytical video on my official YouTube channel Acharya Vishvendra, which I have codenamed as AV. So here we have the concept of full length video lectures which are available on my official YouTube channel. Then is the concept of worksheets, in which there are general worksheets, there are NCERT line to line worksheets, there are PYQs worksheets, and there are extra worksheets also. Now talking about the tests that we conduct are topic wise, then chapter wise, then branch wise, then half syllabus, full syllabus, and then brainstorming. And then we also offer some topic card, then trick cards, then mind maps. So this is what we offer. So here is just like a worksheet, the general worksheet on the topic of pure rolling. So various concepts based on finding VP, conditions for pure rolling, displacement calculation, displacement of center of line, center of mass of the body, then calculation of VP, V dash, displacement of center of mass, displacement of wedge. Then another concept on concept of pure rolling, condition for pure rolling, acceleration of the center of mass, and the friction force acting on the body. Then we have another solved worksheet on momentum time graph, various questions related to calculations of force and acceleration, then minimum force, maximum force. Then is a algebraic question on the basis of momentum, where momentum is given as a function of time, and we need to find various questions related to momentum at 2 second, change in momentum, average force, instantaneous force, force at t is equal to 0. Then we have another question based on momentum time graph of a particle, which is as shown in the figure. It's a parabolic graph, and we need to find various questions based on analysis, the interval in which momentum decreases, momentum increases, maximum momentum, minimum momentum, and various points related to that. Then we have another video on the calculations of tension in a string. So this is the fundamental derivation of concept of tension in a string, and then application of this concept to solve questions and finding tension at a point P. Then we have another question based on calculation of tension, then algebraic question based on the calculation of tension, in which tension is to be calculated as a function of x. Then we have another problem from NLM, in which there is calculation of tension at various points. A string is connected to a block and we need to calculate tension at various points. Then in another question we have a case of vertically accelerating lift, and we have to calculate acceleration at various points in the rod. Then in another question it's moving downward, accelerating downward, then in case of free fall. Then we have another question based on calculation of tension in vertically accelerating lift, then in vertically lift which is moving vertically downward, then free fall case, then artificial satellite case. Then we have another problem on block string problem. Two blocks are given, forces are applied as shown in the figure. We need to calculate tension at the points A, B and C, the free body diagram. And in another case we have to find the acceleration in the calculation of various topics based on this. Then again calculation of tension in the string. Then we have another problem based on free fall of a system and calculation of tension, artificial satellites bed system. Then we have a block string problem in which force is applied, and we need to calculate various terms like acceleration, tension at point A, tension at point B. Then we have two block problem in which forces are applied as shown in the figure. We need to find acceleration, tension at A, tension at B. These are the calculations for this. So this is another worksheet. Then we have another question based on wedge block problem, and the condition of here is that condition of free fall, calculation of the normal reaction and acceleration of the wedge down the plane, then condition for minimum and maximum acceleration, then finding time taken, analytical based questions on the calculation of time, impact of theta on time, minimum and maximum time conditions. Then we have another topic card as I discussed earlier for optimal physics, and this is related to the potential energy. So we have pointed out the topic into the point wise form, which is easy to comprehend, easy to understand, and which is more result oriented. So there are standard points related to potential energy, then expression of the work done which is used in solving problems, then another concept which is related to work energy theorem, then another concept which is work done by external force. So in this topic card we have included all the relevant points which are of use as per exam is concerned, the various concepts, various results, various expressions, fundamental results, work done by the forces, analysis in graphical analysis, integration form result, differentiation form result, slope form result, dependency on angle, when force is positive, negative, zero, infinite. So all of these points we have included. Then we have another video related to the concept of optimal physics, the concept of topic card, concept of worksheet, concept of test and its analysis. Then we have the concept of optimal physics through the OST program, which is a 21 days mind training program. And this program is designed to develop the mind brain system of the students, and is especially meant for those students who find it extremely difficult to focus during problem solving. See, the thing is, when you try to solve a particular problem, different parts of the brain are used. And initially, if you are very new to the process of problem solving and use of multiple lobes of the brain, there is a sort of hurry inside you, there is a sort of anxiety inside you, there is a sort of depression, a sort of low feelings, and you feel like confusion, hallucinations. So these sort of feelings just suggest that your mind brain system is yet learning the process of working as a system. So here three things are important: information, process and emotions. So you need to be very you can say that very stable, very silent, because if you can develop your neural patterns, you can learn the process of coordinating mind and brain, and especially the three parts of the brain: unconscious, conscious and subconscious, with the mind. So if you can develop that neural pattern within you, then you will never feel like, these negative feelings will not be able to deviate you out, and you will be able to get answers to most of the questions. So this is why OST is significant. So it actually deals with the psychological and neurological processes apart from learning the subject. Learning subject is a different thing, and it comes into play when your mind brain system has learned how to work as a system. Because until and unless your mind brain system is not working, is not developed enough to process the information of the subject that you are learning, so till then there is no use of what you are learning. So studying means developing certain neural patterns and to practice them so as to retain them as and when needed. So this retention process is the key element behind the OST program, and I have written a book on the same name, OST by Acharya Vishwendra. You can search it on Google, Notion Press, and Flipkart. And I have the another video with the name OST by Acharya Vishwendra. You can search that also, in which I have discussed the technicalities. So regarding that, I'll just ask that in JE NEET, the task is to get answers from the problems, and getting answers requires use of certain patterns. And in entire JE NEET, there are about 9,000 patterns. So the task behind studying is learning the patterns, practicing the patterns, and testing the patterns for effective retention of the effective output. Now I'll deal something about OST. So OST is about, if we analyze a student, so central role is of the brain, the mind, and coordination of the brain and mind, which takes place via the brain waves. Now this mind has got three levels: the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious. And when we study, so what happens is neural patterns are formed in the brain, and these patterns are stored up in the mind itself, first in the conscious mind, then in the subconscious mind, and at the last in the unconscious mind. And there is a system which is about linking the brain and mind, and especially the three layers of the mind. And this coordination is something which determines whether you'll be able to crack competitive exams or not. So entire turning point is about coordinating mind brain as a system, managing the emotional conflicts in between, and finally developing your mind brain system for getting the answers. So here the central game is of neural patterns, and especially there are 2 points of concern. The first is forming the neural pattern, second is its storage. Now when you try to form a neural pattern, suppose you are studying something, so you will ultimately form a pattern in which you will think, you will understand, you will analyze. So using all these three concepts, you will develop a certain sort of neural pattern which makes you feel that what you are studying. So it's about formation of the neural pattern. Second thing is storage in the brain, and from the brain it goes to the mind. So this storage from brain to mind is very crucial and is one of the milestone in determining your success in cracking JEE NEET. Now here is one important thing, it is retrieval of the information from mind to the brain. So this retrieval process is the central concept behind OST, and most of the students have weak retrieval process. They are not able to retrieve what they studied during 2 years from their mind, and instead of working on the problem, faces hallucinations, faces anxiety, faces depression, or any feelings like that, because they are not able to learn how to retrieve information from the mind. So which is the central theme behind OST, and which is the vision behind developing the OST programs. You can search my name on Google, OST by Acharya Vishwendra, in which you can find details of my work. I have one video, I think some of the videos on YouTube dealing with the technicalities involved in the process. I have also compiled a book with the same name, OST by Acharya Vishwendra. So you can search them, you can refer to them for more readings regarding the topic. Now here is the thing, that coordinating mind and brain is a very complicated process which involves use of brainwave frequency modulation, which is a very complex process, and there are chances that you will feel emotional conflicts, you will feel anxiety, you will feel depression, you will feel like you are fighting with your own brain. So you have to deal with all of these things by working silently with utmost and unbroken focus. So there is these things lead to stress, anxiety, depression, low feelings. But one thing is sure in life, if you want to be ahead of others, if you want to be ahead of the crowd, then you have to bear something for that. Nothing is free of cost in life. If you want to be somebody who is able to think about the survival and reproduction mode of the species and want to achieve truly wisdom, then you have to bear the brunt of sufferings in the pathway. You know, nature has made an adjustment. What I have analyzed during my working in life, that nature has made certain compulsions, there are certain levels. So it's just like life is a game of 7 stages, the first being the physical, and the last being the nirvana or the parbrahma model or the parbrahma level, in which you know everything. You become the entire universe yourself, you become the creation yourself. It is said that when you clear the seventh gate, you are liberated from the endless cycles of life and death. But until then, until you move from the first level to the seventh level, same conditions will be there. You will be put into things, you will be put into the situations, and you can just work. There is nothing you can do about the external things. Situations will change accordingly, but you can manage what you do. So OST is all about managing the emotional things, the emotional reactions, the psychological things, the neurological things, so as to increase your level and think uh, about the higher dimensions of life, or the dimensions which are beyond the physical. But for that you'll have to struggle a lot, you'll have to struggle with your own brain. But if you keep on working without distraction, without letting your emotions to disturb you, with unbroken focus, then certainly you'll reach to the second level. And then there will be difference between you and the other people who are just at the physical level. So as simple as that. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Thank you and have a nice day.